Vayeira Vayeira. He's sitting at the entrance of the tent, the hottest time of the tent, and he lifts up his eyes and he sees V'hinei Shlosha Anoshim Nitzavim Olav. See, seemingly the word V'hinei is totally superfluous. Say Shlosha Anoshim. What's the and behold? What's the behold? I mean, here he's sitting at the entrance, looking in every direction, sees nothing. Hine, they appear out of nowhere. See, immediately, because there's a question, or Chaim HaKadosh discusses, did he immediately realize they were malachim? See, he shows clearly initially he didn't know. But there were many things that were unusual about them, and eventually he did realize they were malachim. But when he first started, he didn't realize they were malachim. So could V'hinei means, I mean, how does something, I'm looking there, and all of a sudden I see something. Until that moment I didn't see it, now I see it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? And he was looking, nobody looked like the way Avram looked. It's like, yeah, you have people, years ago in barbershops, they used to have framed the first dollar they ever made, right? First dollar. Some people, they're still holding on to the first dollar they ever made. Lahavdil, $1,000. Avram, when it came to doing Hachnosis Orchim, it's not he maybe missed it. When he looked for a guest, he couldn't miss it. All of a sudden, Hinei Shlosha Anoshim Nitzavim Olav. Where did they come from? So immediately, this is my interview. There's something unusual there. That's the V'hinei. Nitzavim Olav. Vayar Vayoretz T'Korosam. Rashi, what's the second Vayar? It says Vayoretz T'Korosam Mipesach oil. That's interesting. It would have been enough to say Vayoretz T'Korosam. What does it have to tell us from where did he run? He ran from Pesach oil. You know, it's like very often, person, they call from downstairs, somebody's waiting downstairs. So if it's a very special guest, you run down the steps. The elevator can't, you have no time. You run down the steps, so you're running already from your apartment to greet the person. Another person waits for the elevator. When he gets to the lobby, he runs out to greet him. Meaning, you're not consumed with the news that that person is there. When I get then I'll get to him. This Torah is revealing Vayoretz Mipesach oil. He's already running. This is something he was waiting for this moment. What I'm saying now is the Seforno says. Vayoretz T'Korosam with Beterem Yikru L'Daberimo. 1 second. Mipesach oil. Hischil Min HaPesach Lorotz L'Chvodam. He began running from the Pesach to show, this is to acknowledge them, to give them special honor. Ki azrizus l'dava yor al chashivuso be'eni hamizdari zelov. When you rush for anything, that shows the chashivus, to what degree you value it, you esteem it. Ki nivayimar Moshe v'yikod artzav yishtochu. This is when Hashem appeared to him over there. That we find by Rivki Menu, right? When Eliezer asked for a sip of water, she rushed. She rushed back. What's the rushing? In order to do chesed, a person needs, his need has to be satisfied. No moment is too soon. So she rushed. She shows the chashivas hadover. Shows to what degree she esteemed it. So Vayoretz Mipesach oil, this was intentional. It wasn't only due to chesed. He says to show to what degree their needs are important to him. To esteem the people. L'chvodam. Let's see the Rashi. Where's this? Is Chomim about likros, about Mipesach oil? This is Chom on this. Vav. Let's see Rashi first. Hinei shlosha anoshim echod levaser soro, ve'echod lafoch es Sodom, ve'echod lerapos es Avrom, shein malach echod oser shnei shlichos. I was just thinking. Originally, it says that because he was sitting against, originally Hashem wanted to cause it to be the hottest day, that Avram shouldn't be bothered. He should be able to convalesce. He should have a respite from Hachnosis Orchim. But because he was mitztayer, therefore Hashem sent him Shloshim Alochim. Musa Noshim, right? Alan, you weren't here for this yesterday. This is better than Shalosh Shudas Torah. This is at a gala kiddush. You could say this. So So it says because he was pained that with no orchim, Hashem sent him angels in human form. What were the fruits of that? Let's say, meaning initially they would have come in as angels to inform on all three things. He's going to have a child, to save Lot, and to heal him. Raphael would have healed him without coming in human form. Sarah would have been informed through a nevuah. Right? And Lot would have been saved, but they came in human form because he was mitzdayer, he was pained, they couldn't do achnos orchim. No, because because the pain. See, therefore he could do his achnos orchim. But what are fruits of? What do we have man in the midbar? So it comes out if he wouldn't have been pained, we wouldn't have had man in the midbar, wouldn't have the Anei Akovot, and we wouldn't have the what? The Bereshel Miriam. This is an outgrowth of his pain to be able to make this Hachnos Zorchim. Right? It's clear from Chazal. They only came in human, so if they came in human form, they have human needs. Okay, so he had to host them. An angel, we have to say, he should rest under the shade of a tree. So these are the fruits of the labor. I didn't say it. Chazal said it. Chazal said it. No, but I explained it. Who's truly needy? I understand that. I understand that. Yeah, but this is unrelated to this. He was pained that he couldn't be machnas orech, that he couldn't host people. So I explained yesterday what was the pain. He was afraid that the food would rot in his cupboard. What was he pained for? Because what was the value of Avram's Hachnos Zorchim? Kiruv. So, if guests don't come, that means these people are pagans. So what are pagans? It's Chil Hashem. God's name is being desecrated. They're in God's world, and they believe it's something else. So he was paying for Kavod Shemayim. So because he was paying for Kavod Shemayim, the guests aren't coming, that means until they arrive, it's being delayed. The Chil Hashem is continuing. So because he was paying for Chil Hashem, Kavod Shemayim, that's why Hashem brought them in human form. So the Hachnosis Orchim, the outgrowth of that, was from the pain of Chil Hashem and Kavod Shemayim. That's why it produced such special fruits. Yes. According to one, no, according to one opinion, that's where we had Golus Mitzrayim. We went to Egypt because of that. He should have said, "I'm taking them," because it says he would have been machdim tachstem kanti Ashchina. He would have, but it was a mistake. But you understand, it's very interesting. It's similar. No, it's similar. You see, in certain things similar. We find that, they withdrew the straw subsidy. And Moshe's coming with Aaron into Paro, and the people are coming out, the Jews. So, what's his name said? You people are lazy. The reason why I withdrew it, you're lazy, and this and that, and he reprimanded him. Paro. So he says, so as they come out, and Dustin Vayeira were the head of this delegation, they meet Moshe and Aaron, they say to Moshe, since you've come, you've made our presence to be putrid in the eyes of Paro. Lavishenu, you made us stink. There's a stench. They can't tolerate us. You've only caused us problems. This is what doesn't Aviram say to Moshe Rabbeinu. You understand? So Moshe Rabbeinu, after he comes out of Paro, he says to Hashem, Lomei Rosa Lomozeh Shlachtoni. That was a reaction to Dasan Aviram. What did Dasan Aviram represent in Moshe's eyes? They themselves were a Chil Hashem. If Dasan Aviram come with such a claim, it's a Chil Hashem. Even if it's a baseless claim, it's a Chil Hashem. So Moshe reacted to that, and he said, what was the consequence of that? You know what the consequence of that was? He didn't go into Eretz Yisrael. Because it was an inappropriate question. That's what it was. Over there, what was the Melech Stone? He was a personification of evil. He says, give me the people, you take the physical possessions. I will not take anything here. Because you say, Ani Hashati Yas Avraham. You're not going to say, you made me wealthy. So how did he see the king of Sodom? Anything that had to do with him, you had to be suspect. Ultimately, it's Michil Hashem, because the man is so evil. Because of that, he had this oversight. He didn't take the people. So you understand? So whenever there's a reaction, no, there wasn't anger. It wasn't anger. But there's a certain intensity of negative feeling. Whenever you have that negative feeling, there's somehow you miss a point. You'll lose clarity at that moment. You know? And he lost it. And we went to Mitzrayim because of that, according to one opinion. Similar to a Moshe. Moshe with Dasna Aviram. But there wasn't anger there either. But it was a concern. If these people that's the way they're looking at Hashem, I'm the agent of Hashem. Nobody denied it. But since you've come over, there's only trouble. So therefore, he reacted to that. But what was his reaction? It's Chil Hashem. If these two people doesn't even speak this way, it's Chil Hashem.
What is Pesach? Is it opening of a doorway? Why are they using the word Pesach all the time?
Yeah, because it's the entrance of the tent. That's what it means.
Well, I'm asking, is it a doorway or is it...
Person's a doorman. And so the doorman's supposed to stand at the entrance of the door. So why is it called a doorman? Yeah, that's the kind of question you're asking.
Because you have Mordecai sitting at also so I think there's all these Pesach, so that's why I'm asking what's special about it.
It's Rashi explained, why is he at the Pesach? Because he can't see that, look down the road unless he's sitting at the entrance. This is before security cameras. Okay. You know, the closer we get to Shabbos, Howard's asked this because he has to have a Torah to say at the table. So he has to have a justification, you know, of saying what he's thinking about. Daniel Kapschus. Howard only speaks Divrei Torah at his table on Shabbos. See, he needs Divrei Torah. Okay. So he says, the angels are mentioned in the plural, Vayochlu, Vayomru, Vayelov, Ubibsura, but when it comes to each of the angels, in terms of the mission, Nemar Vayom, Oshuv, Shov Oshuv Elecho, singular. Oshuv. They didn't say Noshuv. Havir Stom Omer, Kilo Uchal Lasos Dover. This is like Kilo Nuchal. Levilti Hofri, Rafael Shribis, Avram Holach Misham Lahatzel Aslot. Because we said one angel can't do two agencies. Shenema Vihiko Tzimo Samachutzo Yoma Himoler Al Nafshecho. Lamarto Sho Echod Matzil. Nitzovim Olov. Lefonov. They were standing from distance. Come over Olov Mate Menashe. El Noshnikia Klapi Malochem Vayar Mao Vayar Vayar Shtei Pomim. But what does it say Vayar twice? Rishkama first is visual sync. He noticed them. Hasheni Loshnav, he understood. What did he understand? Because they're waiting there. They should have come close. Nistakol Shehoyu Nitzovim B'mokom Echod V'Heven Shlo Yirotzim Latricho. That's what we're talking about. Quality people here. We're not talking about just a bunch of vagabonds over here. They recognized he's an older person. They're not going to. They don't want to impose themselves on him. Therefore, he noticed that. Therefore, he ran towards them. But they waited there to show that in truth they don't want to impose themselves. Because otherwise, when they saw it, they should have stuck going. Mara says when they saw that he was infirm, they left. They were ready to leave. They saw it wasn't easy for him. So when he saw they were leaving, he ran towards them. So he had schar psius. It says that if you have two shuls, one further, one's closer, it's because you have schar psius. Every step you take is another value. But it's interesting. According to the Gemara, according to the simple without the Gemara, what did he run? He wanted to show them to what degree he values them. He's running towards them. The other is because they're leaving. So he's running after them. So there's a medrash in this week's parsha that when he ran, the wound The wound was an open wound. It was a fresh wound. So as he ran, there were droplets of blood that dripped from the wound. I mean, you're 99, you just had the surgery, right? He totally was oblivious to it. So in the merit of the Tipas Dam, we were merited Dam Pesach, not Milo we had already. He's already circumcised. And Dam something else. We merited two mitzvahs. One, Dam Pesach, we merited because of one drop. No, Dam Milo was before. He was already circumcised. I remember what it is. I have to look in the Medrash. But it came because he ran. So either way you learn. What is this resource of a mitzvah? It's a separate thing. What did it produce? It produced the droplet. If he wouldn't have run, the droplet of blood wouldn't have dripped. So also, that of the degree that he valued the mitzvah, running towards them, that itself produced Dam Pesach. Right? That was the merit why we left Egypt. Right? That's the Maya Chai. That was one of the mitzvahs Hashem gave us. You want to say something?
No, so everything he did was for the future with the mind.
No, he didn't do it for the future. He did it for.
But we got
those were the fruits of this investment. What do you?
The fruits of this was the
Dam Pesach.
And that was ultimately the cause of redemption also, because
Without that, we weren't worthy to leave. We were all in Vayeira. We were devoid of mitzvahs. Somebody called me up. The next posuk, it's a Viyama Adni. There's a question: what is this Chol or is it Kodesh? Right. So if it's Kodesh, this is from here. The Gemara learns Gadol Hachnosus Orchem Yosem Mikabolos Bnei Hashchina. That host hospitality is greater than, because he interrupted his conversation with Hashem to attend to the needs of the guests. So the person says that. I want to tell you for it. The person's from Tzfas, called me up on the phone. So I said, okay, listen. So he tells me, he says, how did Avram know that Hachnos was greater than having an audience with Hashem? How did he know this? Where did he learn it from? So the way I explain it always is not difficult. Right? I always give the example. Person is waiting on the company's biggest client. Biggest client. The CEO calls him, I'd like to see you now, because I can't come to see you. So what do you mean? I tell you to come see me, you're not coming to see me. So I'm waiting on your biggest client. Biggest client, finished, then you come see me. You're working for me. This is why you're here. Avram, what was his Hachnos Zorchim? His Hachnos Zorchim was what? To tell him about the World Series, right? Like you take a break before Nilo, during Nilo. Well, tell you the scores. When that's what we're talking about. Avram Avinu here. So of course that's why he interrupted, because Hashem wants this. The whole thing is covered Shemaim. That's what I'm doing. So he knew he could interrupt. That's what I always say. So he told me something. What I was thinking, because of what he told me, that it was the hottest day of the year. It was impossible to be outside. And all of a sudden, guests come. It's a semi-miracle. Even though he didn't know they were Malochim. But it's clear, it's like Megalus Chusay Zakai. The reason why these guests are coming down the road is because if a person wants something strongly enough, Hashem will provide it. Especially when it's in a positive vein. If you have the merit. So where are they coming? So why did Hashem send me these guests? To attend to their needs. But I'm in the middle of a conversation with them. But if he's sending me the guests when evidently it's to attend to their needs. Because otherwise they're leaving. It's a mitzvah overis. They're going to disappear. So coming in the middle of the conversation, because he was paying, that's the reason why he understood. That's the now the question is why. So we say you say what I'm saying, you say other reasons. Chesed is so crucial, so on and so forth.
But how could you apply the principle from that experience? Because there it was a maze, and that's where he applied it. But we applied.
Could I ask you a question? But the truth is, factually, if factually that was Avram's objective, so how do we draw chesed where it's not for this objective? It's a question. It's a question. Never had an answer on that. Because similarly, we learn from this any type of achnosis orchim. It's not only where the objective is for kiruv. What's a test? Here it says because he mitzvah, because he was pained, Hashem sent it to him. But factually, he interrupted the conversation. So if you see from there that hospitality is greater than engaging with the Shekhinah, right? But I say, but how could you draw from this? Is it any hachnos orchim? Let's say you're going to sit, just feed a person, say nothing to the man. He won't even know you're Jewish, the host. Still, it has great value. But how do you draw? How could this be the source? There's a whole different context over here. To be continued. What? No, the two opinions, Chol or Kodesh. The two pshatim. There's machlokes in the Gemara and Shavuos, whether it's Chol or Kodesh. Adniya. No, it's Ado. No. No, is it my masters? No, my master. That's the question. He's speaking to them? No. Read Rashi. Read Rashi. Give me the Chumash. Quote, it's a Gemara. It's Gemara Shavuos. A minute. No, Rashi brings this. I know. Here, take. Wait, where? Kodesh. Read how it's Kodesh. Oh, okay. It's a Gemara. Rashi's quoting a Gemara. Okay, but usually you never find that word with a komatz. It's a patach. It's Adonai. Even if you're not Sfardik, say Adonai, right? With the komatz is always referred to Hashem. This is the only time it refers to. No, the question is whether it's Kodesh or Chol. The pronunciation is normally the way we refer to God, right? It's an unpronounceable name. But in this context, there's one opinion that it's Chol. It's not. It's referring to. It means masters. No. In this context, no. You have Kale. Kale, you do. Elokim you do find, but not this word. Never.
Everywhere else you have it, you say,
No. That's Aleph Dal Nun always. It interchanges. Depends where it is. No, of course. You have an eye. You should pick this up. Okay. Got to send you back to 6th grade. Means nothing. It's no Chil Hashem if you pass him. No. It's not even a Kiddush Hashem. Nothing. No, nothing. It's not even a Kiddush Hashem when you get. They're going to see that person regardless. If they see negative light, they're just looking for it. And they will not see it in a positive light. There was a picture once in the paper, now maybe a few months ago, a Lubavitch Chassid playing chess with a black guy in the park on, what's it called? Bryant Park. The two of them were sitting there. And there was a caption, and the guy, this Lubavitch, his tzitzis are sticking out of his jacket. You know why? Because the shirt's not in his pants, so they're sticking out of the jacket. So they're playing chess over there. So the whole thing, they made up a whole story. What it wasn't even, it was something else, whatever it is. See, so this person came over to him. He says, I want to play chess. You want to play chess with me? And he almost demanded. That's the background on the story. So he couldn't turn the guy down. It's not he saw a guy sitting doing nothing. He says, I'm going to help you out. Now I'm going to play chess with you. That's not the story. Whatever it is. If you're going to have to be distracted what the world's going to think, whether you do or you don't do, you're going to be wasting your time most of your life.
What about if you're with your kids and there's a homeless person to teach them that?
No, it's a wrong chinuch. Because your child, you teach that kind of chinuch, you're totally going to confuse him. Totally confuse the child. There's a Jewish, you're in Israel, you see poor people, this and that, you say this person is special. Give. Homeless, forget about it. Your child training him. If he's a drug addict, a drunk, of this, that, and that's what he'll grow up. That's what money he's going to give his money to that kind of person. That's the chinuch you're giving them. Okay, we're going to have to do halachas. We're running late.